Organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Coming up today on Daily Iowan TV, protest minimum wage. And later, Marines deployed in an effort to fight ISIS in Syria.
We preview the opening round of the Big Ten tournament for the Hawkeyes.
And we also talk a little softball and tennis.
We'll take a look at the weather we are expecting over spring break.
All that and more is coming your way. You're watching Daily Iowan TV. Good morning and thanks for tuning in to Daily Iowan TV. I'm Noah Gowdy. Minimum wage in Iowa has been a controversial topic as of recently due to a recent piece of legislation that was proposed. House File 295 is the bill, and if it is passed, it would take away city and county rights to pass a minimum wage higher than the state's standard $7.25. A rally was held yesterday on the Ped Mall in downtown Iowa City to protest this piece of legislation, and I was there to bring you the story.
Forward together. Not one step back. Forward together. Not one step back.
That's the sound you could hear ringing through the Ped Mall Wednesday evening as protesters stood up and spoke out on why they believe the Iowa legislature should not pass the newly proposed minimum wage bill.
People are working 2 and 3 jobs just trying to make ends meet in paying, their bills, paying their rent or whatever. That's what I would let them know, that $7.25 is not going to make it here in Iowa City.
Not only are residents of the Iowa City community worried about the recently proposed minimum wage bill, but students of the university are also showing their support in fighting back against the piece of legislation.
It's just increasingly important for me now that I'm going to be going to college that I'm making enough to put myself through school and that others are as well.
Following the protest here in the center of the Ped Mall, the protesters walked to both Wells Fargo and the Sheraton Hotel to express their concerns with management about their support of the newly proposed Iowa minimum wage bill.
Those businesses are one of the 2 big corporations whose association are supporting the bill of reducing the minimum wage.
The protesters waited outside of the establishments while the organizers entered the buildings to speak with management and hand them a letter fully explaining their concerns for the community. The main concern the protesters were asking of the management were to instead support the community rather than the new minimum wage proposal.
Your customer is Johnson County customer, and you should publicly tell us if you're going to continue paying Johnson County minimum wage, or are you really supporting to reduce the minimum wage?
Wells Fargo and the Sheraton Hotel management have not released a statement at this time. There is no set timetable for the vote on the new minimum wage proposal, but stick with Daily Iowan TV as more information becomes available. Another protest occurred in front of the old Capitol building, taking a stand against domestic violence. The protest was organized by the Iowa Division of the United Nations Association. Protesters chanted and handed out bridal veils to those passing by. After much controversy, the Iowa House approved the law to allow guns on campus. The bill will now be taken to the Senate for further discussion. Some believe it will ensure safety on campus. Others believe it will make Iowa a more dangerous place to live. Stay with Daily Iowan TV to learn more about what comes to this major change in campus life. A couple hundred U.S. Marines have been deployed to Syria to fight ISIS, according to a senior U.S. official. The senior U.S. official was not allowed to talk about the deployment publicly, so the official spoke discreetly with sources. The deployment is said to be only temporary, but the Marines will help assist Syrian forces in the fight against ISIS. This is one of the first big deployments in a while and the first of President Trump's administration. Yesterday at the University of Iowa Tippie College of Business, the Multicultural Business Student Association hosted the first ever Taste of Tippie event. They hope the people learn different cultures through trying their food. Daily Iowan TV reporter Zhao Li was there to bring us more.
There are more than 650 international students who are from over 40 countries and territories currently studying at the University of Iowa Tippie College of Business. That being said, 1 in every 5 students is an international, which makes learning about other cultures something important for Tippie students.
The opportunity to learn from each other is always there, but sometimes people are busy. They're taking classes. So when we hold events, cultural events like this one, it's often an opportunity for people to come together, to meet each other, to talk.
And one of the best ways to get to know someone is to share food with them. One student group within the college Multicultural Business Student Association held the first ever Taste of TP event yesterday.
The idea is to be able to bring people together through food. I mean, everyone always enjoys food. So what's best than making sure that we bring in food that represent who we are, food from our own culture.
More than 200 domestic and international students participated in the event. One student, Rita, said she enjoys having food from other cultures and, more importantly, making international friends.
I love having international friends because they show me their foods, their music, and other aspects of their culture. And I feel a lot more aware about issues happening in the world.
It even helps her learn the world from different perspectives. So if you're someone who would like to step out of your comfort zone, learn about other culture traditions, or just want to try more food, you should check out Multicultural Business Student Association and their future events. Reporting from the Tippett College of Business, Shelley, Daily Iowan TV.
Well, this week we have seen our fair share of winter weather coming back, and I'm joined now by Alexis Tansey. Alexis, what are we looking at going into spring break next week here in Iowa?
Yeah, Noah, with spring break coming up, I, for one, will not be leaving Iowa, so I'll have to deal with this cold weather we're expecting. Let's head over to the weather studio to find out the rest of the forecast. Enjoy the sun while it's out this morning, Iowa City, because it looks like that's the last bit of sun we'll have for a while. The skies will be cloudy for the rest of the day with temperatures of about 45 degrees. Heading into evening, temperatures are expected to drop to the upper 30s. Tomorrow morning is looking significantly cooler with a high of 25 degrees and clouds. The weather has been all over the board this winter, but unfortunately, it does not look like we will be receiving any out-of-the-ordinary warm weather for spring break. Let's find out what's expected for the rest of the week. Tomorrow evening will only reach about 32 degrees. Saturday will be about the same with a high of 33 degrees and clouds. Sunday will also be cloudy with a high in the mid to upper 30s. We are expecting snow on Monday with temperatures in the low 30s. The sun will shine for the day on Tuesday with temperatures in the mid 30s. Cloudy skies will return for Wednesday, but temperatures are expected to reach the low 40s. That's all I have in the weather studio. Noah, back to you.
Within the town of North Liberty, there have been a number of fraud reports of debit and credit cards being stolen. 1 or 2 reports of card fraud is around the average number. However, recently there have been up to 7 within a week. Police officials believe that this is a skimmer within the area. This is a device that could be on gas pumps or ATMs that capture card information. There are ways to protect yourself from this, such as making sure the lights are activated on the keypad or card reader. Police recommend going inside and having a face-to-face contact with a clerk and avoiding a card reader for the time being. Iowa City is starting to the curbside composting of food waste. 18,000 tons of food goes to waste in Iowa City every year, so this new initiative will help the sustainability of our city. This program will start this Monday, and the food will be collected. The service will also include paper products, which sets them apart from other food compositing programs. The program will be available for those who get city trash collection services. And there will be free apple pie bites located at the University of Iowa Main Library, Hardin Library for the Health Sciences, Business Library, and Sciences Library. The university is celebrating Pie Day a little early this year. You can get your pie bites from 3:14 to 5 p.m. Be there or be square. And I heard that men's basketball have a big game coming up tonight. Let's toss it over to Taylor Van Fleet and Colin Murphy in the sports studio to find out more.
Yeah, thanks, Noah. You know, Taylor, huge game for the Hawks tonight. Kind of been a do-or-die season for them, so let's see if they can kind of continue that.
That's right. Last time these two teams played each other, it was a crazy game, and the Hawks were able to come out on top, so let's see if they do it again tonight.
The Iowa men's basketball team ended their regular season with a win Sunday against Penn State. They finished 18-13 on the season and 7th in the Big Ten.
And with some rocky stretches of play this season, the Hawks are not a lock to make the NCAA tournament.
With a huge upset over ranked Wisconsin last week, ESPN's bracket expert Joel Nardi has the Hawks as one of the first 4 teams out of the NCAA tournament.
The Hawkeyes will need to improve their resume in the Big Ten tournament to have a chance of making it into the field of 64. They have that chance tonight as they take on Indiana in their first matchup of the tournament at 5:30.
The Hawkeyes come in with the better record and have already beat the Hoosiers once this year when they won in overtime 96-90 in Carver on February 21st.
The win will not come easy for the Hawks as both teams average around 80 points per game, but the Hoosiers only allow 73 points compared to the Hawkeyes' 77.
The Hawks will need to stay hot and extend their 4-game winning streak to 5 if they are going to get on to the next round. The softball team is coming back from a weekend that didn't quite go their way, but with plenty of season left, Coach Looper and the team are confident in a quick turnaround. Liv Corbett has more.
The Iowa softball team may not have had the start that they wanted so far, but it's all about moving forward. And that starts when they travel to Kansas this weekend for the Jayhawk Invitational.
Last day out, we executed a lot of ways. We still can't guarantee a win, but when we do execute, odds are in our favor, and I think that's really the biggest difference in the one-run games.
We just have to stick to our process. Our coaches are doing a great job of preparing us throughout the week. So we just need to focus on executing, especially in practice, so that turns over into the game. Right now, we feel good as a team. We're just waiting for it to come together on the field. So this week we're going to actively make that happen instead of waiting for it to come to us.
I think in my 5 years here, I think this could be our most dominant team, and we just have to put it all together for it to really show. And once we can make that happen, I think it's going to be a really special team. But until then, just putting all the pieces of a game together.
Moving forward, we got to keep trucking, doing what we know how to do and what we can control, and hopefully that'll lead us to the wins that we want.
But just going to take one of those games, one of those wins, and it's believing that we can get it done, and the season will turn over pretty quickly.
After a week of preparation, the Hawkeyes will start out the Invitational taking on Drake University at 9 a.m. Reporting for Iowa Softball, this has been Olivia Corbett with Daily Iowan TV Sports.
With some small adjustments, the Hawkeyes are looking to come out on top as they travel to Kansas this Saturday.
Head coach Ross Wilson has led the Iowa tennis team to an impressive 8-4 record to kick off the season. Will Silverstein has more.
Ross Wilson is only in his second year as head coach of the Hawkeyes, but the impressive work he has done would suggest otherwise as his team looks poised heading into conference play.
We've continued to recruit top players to come here, and we've definitely improved the depth of our lineup. I think the guys that were here before me and also the guys we brought in continue to develop their games as well. And our schedule is getting better every single year. So I think development, recruiting, and scheduling, I mean, those are the three things that I think every program needs to do at a high level if they want to be really good.
Having been a star in college, Wilson knows what it takes for the Hawkeyes to get into the tournament.
I think the biggest thing we've talked about this year and last year was composure. You know, and I think that comes from having the experience of being in close matches, having the experience of having things on the line when you're playing in close matches as well, and knowing what it's going to feel like and being able to execute your game in those moments. And we've gotten better and better, and we're still a work in progress, but I think we've made some good improvements with being able to control our emotions and understanding that this is a marathon. You know, it's not about the first 8 or 9 matches. We've got 27 matches on our schedule, and you know, at the end of April, we want to be top 45 in the country.
Despite a quick setback loss to Wisconsin, Coach Wilson and the team will look to move forward as they head into conference play. Reporting from the University of Iowa Hawkeye Tennis and Recreation Center, this is Will Silverstein, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
The Hawkeyes travel to Lincoln this Friday afternoon to kick off spring break against the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Tune in tomorrow to see if those Hawkeyes will continue on in the Big Ten tournament.
And a look at one wrestler that's expected to do big things in the NCAAs next week. Noah, back to you.
Thanks, guys. And that's it for this edition of Daily Iowan TV. Be sure to check out our live shows every morning at 8:30 a.m. on dailyiowan.com. Also, be sure to pick up today's copy of the Daily Iowan. We'll see you right back here tomorrow, and have a great day, Iowa City.